Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll get started on our next multiplayer matchup. We're playing the Imperial Ruin Strategic Command 2,000 points. I'm playing as the Tau, and we're going against the Blood Angels. It's a 2,000 point army size, 8 turn limit, with a 80 point target. I'm playing around a little bit with some ranged units here. This force works out pretty well against, like, on Exterminatus matches, but I feel like it would probably work out pretty well on Strategic Command as well. So what I have is 2 stealth suits. Actually, I think I have 3 stealth suits. 2. And then I have the 3 crisis teams here. I have 2 cadres. I have I have 3 stealth suits. I did. Okay, I couldn't remember. And then I have a broadside here. And I ended up going with a breacher as well because I thought that would help me. Now the thought is with this force selection, hopefully I can do a lot of damage from range with the missile pods here to take down high value Space Marine targets. And then what most people will do is come over onto the side here with some jump infantry and take that point over here. So hopefully by having these guys here I can get shots onto them and help us get some points captured even without the line of sight. And then this stealth suit here can run over there and capture the point, and then once I get there, maybe we can just activate our stealth so we can just hold the point here. And then over on this side, it's, kind of similar. Most of the players will either send over assault infantry, or what's much more common is they'll end up using land speeders because you can cross all that distance quite easily with those units here. So I'm just kind of moving everybody up to see what I can do here. And it's like, well, do I send 2 stealth teams over onto the side, or do I send a stealth team up in the center here to try to capture that middle point? And it's like, well, let's just keep you over here. Try to get you to that point as fast as possible. Because if for whatever reason we do get there before the land speeders, they won't be able to really do much damage to you. And then nobody's going to be able to reach me this turn, so it's like, why waste the movement on the Overwatch? Let's just get you moved up another square here. So it's 5-5. And as suspected, he's got the land speeder. Now, unfortunately, he's got the multi-meltas, so they're able to do good damage to the stealth suits because they have all that armor penetration. But thankfully, he didn't kill the 2 models here. So it's like, if I run him around the back here, I should be able to capture that point. I thought, well, let's activate the camouflage here in case he's got another unit in the rear, so that way they don't get that reaction fire here if he's got Overwatch, but there's nothing there. But this is where I find out that if you capture a point with the stealth going, you deactivate it, even though it doesn't say anything about that in the description here. So it's like, damn it, I just totally screwed myself here, because this should be an easy win. But and I should have been able to nullify these land speeders. But because I goofed that up by setting up with failure with the stealth area there, that's going to cost me those guys and probably that side of the field. So that was quite painful. And now you kind of see what he's got here. He's going with an Aggressors and Scepter build here. I think this is probably going to be a good idea against the Tau because these guys have more armor. And unfortunately, I put my commander up here, so it's like, well, shit, was that really the smartest thing to do here? Because ideally, I would like to have the increased damage here for those guys. And so I'm just trying to decide, how the hell do I want to do this? And it's like, well, maybe I should have just had those guys go stealth, come up here, and then they'll still give me that line of sight, I can bring the commander over this way, give him some buffs, and then it's like, oh shoot, once I activate the stealth I can't jump anymore. So now I'm just trying to decide, well, where do I want to go here? It's like, well, I've got a 100% chance to hit there. So let's get you up here, shoot into here, dropping those guys down. It's like, well, I guess we'll move you over here to also give you the damage buff. Fire into there, take out the 2 models. So it's like, well, if I get these guys up here, you should be able to get the kill. So it's like, that was a nice thing here. And it's like, do I pull back? Do I keep going forward? It's like, let's just activate the camouflage so he won't know where I'm moving. And then we'll keep you here and we'll see what happens. Because if I can take out those Inceptors, I think that's going to be good for us. Because those are, 1, worth a lot of points, and 2, it's also jump infantry. And I'm like, dang it, maybe I should have used their free attack here to do something. And so now I'm kind of like not sure what I want to do. Because I'm getting perturbed about some of my poor movement here, and it's causing me to kind of get dented a little bit. And it's like, well, we'll take cover by the stairs. I'll move you over here. But then I'm like, oh shit, I probably could have landed shots into the land speeder had I done this better. And it's like, okay, now nothing's in range for my rockets. I do have the Seeker missile here. And I thought, oh, 55%. Well, maybe I can salvage this by getting you over here and buffing your accuracy. And I moved the Cadre because I forgot that they had a range of 2. But then I learned that it doesn't matter. That doesn't give them 100% accuracy. It only affects their melee weapon. It doesn't affect the missile. So I don't know if that's as it's intended or not, but that is how, as of now, that does not give any buffs. So it's like, alright, well, he's going to easily be able to kill these guys here. And then he captures that point back. So that really shouldn't have happened. He's bringing the aggressors up. Perhaps against the Tau, using the default Space Marines here could potentially be a good option, since they should be able to snipe down the infantry, and then they have enough armor that it actually will take a couple of missile shots to get into them. He runs those guys down here, and he activates the zone of control, allowing us to get a free kill. And then because they have the default bolt pistol, they can't do enough damage to actually hurt my stealth suits. So that should allow us to pretty much conquer this right side of the map without difficulty. Now the breachers should be very good about damaging the land speeders, so that should help us here. So we'll just bring them up to here and shoot this guy, but it's like, oh, I don't have great chances to hit, so we'll use the marker light, and now all of a sudden it's up by 10%. Get the kill. And here I was like, well, I'd really like to get additional shots onto the land speeder, but I'm not sure if he's gonna be in range or not. It's like, I'd also like to shoot into these guys. I don't think I want to waste, you know, a bunch of rockets on these guys. So it's like, well, if I jump here, I can move back, and now I can capture, and I've gotten around them here. And I can just body block and take that point. And now I'm trying to decide how I want to move these other guys around. It's like, I'd like to take this point back. And what I'm not sure about is how good the missiles are going to be against damaging aggressors since they have all that armor. They have 7, but then it's like, well, the Inceptors have 7 armor too, so it should actually do pretty decent damage. And if I can kill those guys, I can end up capturing this point back. So I'm like, well, maybe I just want to use all my missiles here, because it's 3 times 15, that's pretty decent. And it's like, well, I guess we're gonna kill him. But unfortunately there's still 1 model left there. But it's like, well, I'm pretty sure you can get the kill here. And he's down, so it's like, well, let's just move you up to here. And I see he's got the Sanguinary Guard, the Hellblasters, and the regular infantry. And again, because he captured the point, it deactivates the stealth field.
Ready for orders.
So now I'm just trying to decide how I want to do this.
Nothing shall stand against
It's like
us.
I would like to provide some additional support. To that left side here, so I'm like, well, maybe if I move the broadside over here, he'll be able to get line of sight. And it's like, well, I think I'm going to want to bring some crisis suits over this way, because I may have to just abandon the center, but with all this jump infantry here with the crisis suits and the stealth suits, maybe I can just use them to push the right side of the map here.
To the front line.
And then I'll move these guys around to get some range. I was like, well, let's get you a 100% chance to hit to see if you can get some damage here. Because if you could hit him, that would be great. Unfortunately, he's in full cover. So it's like, well, can't really do a whole lot here. So I guess we'll just shoot into the aggressors. And unfortunately, could not kill a model.
Yes.
So now I'm just trying to decide what's the best way to move my crisis teams so I can make sure that they can not get jumped by the Sanguinary Guard and also hold positions here. So it's like, well, let's keep you guys back here, pull everybody back, hide the ethereal so those Hellblasters don't snipe them.
To the front line. Establishing fire zone.
Set these guys up here.
Artillery standing by.
And it's like, well, I think we just gotta keep the commander back here too for another turn, so we can make sure we use up all the missile attacks that we have and buff everybody else.
Moving to position.
And then we'll make some decisions about what to do from there.
I will slow them down.
So 30 to 25. He's moving up here to body block that. Now he's starting to move the Space Marines down here appropriately to get some shots on my guys. He's got the Hellblasters still around here. He's using their frag assault, but that won't do anything against all that armor. And he's coming down here to melee these guys, land some attacks. Now he uses his Hellblasters to try to snipe some guys down, and he does actually land some shots. I was a little surprised that he was able to successfully land the shots, given how close those Hellblasters were. And see, those guys can actually do some damage against the stealth suits when they use that ability. And you don't have to worry about them suffering the extra damage from melee, since nothing I have has any melee. So now he's increasing their damage. And he attacked with the Sanguinary Guard, but for some reason it totally skipped that, so you had to kind of deduce what happened there. And he's pulling back with the Sanguinary Guard.
Outside of visual range.
Those guys are moving around. He did his little charge attack. And these guys are back, so now it's like, well, what am I going to do here? I guess we're going to shoot into the land speeder. Because I need to try to get that kill. And unfortunately, I was just short. It's like, well, kill the Inceptor. So now we've destroyed 2 Inceptors over on that side.
Nothing shall stand against us.
What troubles you?
So now I'm just trying to decide, what do I want to do here? It's like I can start jumping you guys around. It looks like he left that unprotected, so I could jump you to here. But then I'm going to sacrifice my commander, but I'm almost out of ammo with their missiles here. So it's like, well, let's just buff everything, I guess.
I serve the greater good.
And then if I jump my commander down there, maybe I can get line of sight to let us launch the last set of missiles against hopefully the Sanguinary Guard.
Wherever I am needed.
And we just end up doing this to try to help boost the amount of attacks. So I'm like, well, let's do it, because at this point in time we're going to lose the fight. So if I can just stay alive long enough to keep getting some kills here and capture the points, I think that's going to be worth it. So it's like, well, I think the Flamer's going to do more damage against every unit, so then the missiles should be able to take them out. So that almost took out 50% of their health. So it's like, yeah, I think I'm going to be able to jump these guys across.
Yes. Armored support ready.
But I'm just trying to figure out how aggressive I need to be with my movement. Because right now what I'm trying to figure out is, do I want to jump down to there and show my hand about what my thought process is to capture that point and then start flaming those other guys, or do I just keep patiently waiting here?
Moving.
And it's like, well, let's just shoot into these guys here. We've now taken out the Sanguinary Guard, so that's huge. Unfortunately, the Lieutenant has a Thunderhammer, so he'll be good at taking us out. And it's like, well, let's just get over here so you're closer in position to start taking that point back. I have to keep you there for another turn. And then I was like, well, he's got 38, so maybe I could kill a model with the aggressors here, or with the crisis team, by launching some missiles into them. And then what I don't want is for him to be able to take back this position with the Incessors, because I don't think I'm going to be able to do enough damage to kill those and the land speeder with everything else coming here. So I'm just moving you here to block, and then I end up throwing this down here, but in retrospect it would have been smarter for me to throw that photon grenade against the land speeder here, because it would have lowered his evasion, would have increased the accuracy, and I would have been able to kill him with the breacher team and captured that point. And then at least had 1 or 2 turns to try to sit here and get those points. Because right now I'm committed to just try to win the point game here.
Yes. Armored support, ready.
And I'm like, I need to move them forward as much as I can, but I don't want to move them so close that the Sanguinary Guard can jump them. Although, honestly, that wouldn't be the end of the world if that happened, because then my other Crisis suits could do it. So I'm like, well, 13 times 3 is 39, so hopefully I'll kill a model, but unfortunately, the damage reduction from all that armor stopped that from happening, so he's still alive. So I'm like, well, maybe if I move you up here... I can do it, but the other part of me is like, well, maybe I shoot into these guys, and you miss the attack. So I'm like, that's kind of a bummer. We'll bring you back over this way to try to hide from the Hellblasters.
It shall be.
But it's like between the Lieutenant, the Sanguinary Guard, and everybody else, that commander's definitely dead next turn. So it's like, let's move you guys a little bit closer here. And now I'm just trying to figure out how I want to position guys to try to prevent them from, one, getting sniped by the Hellblasters, but also stopping them from getting taken out by the Sanguinary Guard, which could jump them, or the Lieutenant, who would also be able to kill him, especially with that damage boost. But I need to get him closer to the broadside here because I want to be able to give him that 100% accuracy. It's like, well, you got a 42% chance to shoot, so let's just see if you can do some damage.
Ready for orders. Establishing fire.
And it's pretty pathetic.
How can I assist?
Consider it done.
But it's like, yeah, definitely some pretty poor movement by myself with these strategies here, but we're slowly pulling ahead with our points. He's obviously getting the heal here because I wasn't able to kill the model. Bringing the Hellblasters around to try to get as many shots as he can into my commander. Does 150. He's able to get some evasion, so they only got one of those hits landing. Trying to move up so the Lieutenant comes up, smacks him, and then uses the Sanguinary Guard to get the kill. Hiding the Lieutenant, pulling back with the Sanguinary Guard, using the aggressors to body block that position. And then using Hellblasters, he was trying to get shots onto me, but his chance to hit was so poor he couldn't do it. So he's just moving up with those guys. Throwing some frag grenades down. Gonna shoot with these guys. And snipe them with one of the Meltas.
Ready for orders.
Alright, so I'm like, if I move you up to here,
Repositioning.
can I snipe the Lieutenant? And he's considered to be in full cover, but the Sanguinary Priest is not. So it's like, let's just jump you over to here to start getting you into position, and then I can move you up to here to body block this area here. Because now I'm going to force him either to decide to send a hero down towards you guys to get a kill.
Yes. Ready for orders.
And you get the kill there, so we'll capture this. So now it's 3-2 again.
As you wish.
But they're definitely going to be dead next turn. So I've totally lost the left side now. I'd like to kill the lieutenant
here.
because I know he's going to be able to start summoning some guys with his points here shortly.
To the front line.
Again, I forget that that ability that they have has a range of 2, so I keep putting them right next to that. It's like, well, let's just kill the sanguinary priest then to stop some heals from coming in.
As you command.
It's like I'd really want that lieutenant to die. So now I realize, well shit, maybe had I used that ability targeted sight here, I could have just jumped him in, had a 100% chance to get hits. That'd be 6 fusion blast attacks. That probably would have been enough to get the kill.
Armored support. Ready.
So it's like, well, I guess I'm going to risk the
How can I assist?
decreased shot chance here
To the sky.
by bringing you down here, and we'll see how bad it is. And it's 45, so I'm like, oh, that's not great. So I only do 40 damage. So it's like, well, at this point in time, I'm committed. So I might as well just jump over here,
Moving.
flame these guys, start stacking up some damage.
You'll need more than that.
And that gets me closer to taking those guys out. We'll bring the ethereal over this way, because now I have guys spread out far enough that he's not going to be able to easily get everybody around here. So he's either going to have to try to salvage this point with those other guys, in which case I'll be able to capture the center with the forces I have here, or he'll focus the attacks
Yes.
on the center here, allowing me to take
Ready
that
for orders.
position on the right side. And I'm going to totally lose the left side.
How can I assist?
So now I'm just trying to decide how the hell do I want to position these guys to try to do something here.
Establishing fire zone.
And it's like, let's just pull you guys back in case he tries to get flanks with those aggressors here to attack the other crisis suit, but I assume he's just going to kill the ones in front of him to keep body blocking. But in case he does something stupid, we will do that.
To the front line.
And then we'll set you up here, so if those Hellblasters decide to move, you can get some shots off. So now it's 60 to 45, so we're slowly pulling ahead. He's running these guys down to try to get some shots. He decides to focus on taking out the crisis suits, which I don't think is the wrong decision. Almost kills a model. These guys are shooting over here. They attack, and thankfully he does not trigger an extra action point there. So the lieutenant attacks. There's only one model, so he's like, well, let's just kill him.
We shall honor them.
These guys are shooting over here. The other ones come up and get the kill. There's no way that wasn't going to happen.
More targets will soon be.
Takes that point back. Uses his other attack with the lieutenant here.
Ready for orders.
So now it's like, well, what am I going to do here? I might as well shoot here. Kill one of the Marines, take this point. That'll help me get 3 to 1 or 3 to 2 here.
Yes.
It's like you're still alive. I now have you up to
Artillery standing by.
100%. It's like I could use those rockets and get the kill there, but I'm pretty sure that if I move them, I should be able to do 100%
Study your enemy's movements.
damage with the railgun, because that's not going to be enough to get the kill here. So if I move you over here, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to get the shot, but it's like, let's take it one square at a time to make sure I don't mess myself up here. And it's like, oh, I now have a 100% chance to hit, and we'll get the kill. So it's like, boom, he's dead. We'll launch these missiles over out towards the Sanguinary Guard here. And it's like, where do I want to position these guys to try to protect them?
Armored support ready.
It's like, well, how far can I go? Not very far. So I kind of feel like I should be bringing these crisis suits over here to try to get some protection going. It's like I can force him to shoot here. But I'm like, maybe I can just run these guys up a little bit and get some shots. And unfortunately I can't because he's in the way. So we'll just shoot there. But then I'm like, oh wait, had I had moved you, I probably would have got the kill. So it's like, let's just shoot into these guys, take out 2 of the models. It's like, if I move you up to here, that should help protect you from the Hellblasters on the other side.
How can I assist?
And it's like, well, if that's the case, I should be able to get some shots if I come over here, right? And it's like, nope. It's like, alright, commit. So it's like, okay, now I do have shots. And at 65%, that should be enough to be able to kill these guys here, which it is. So now it's like, well, where do I want to position these crisis suits to try to get the most out of them?
What troubles you?
I'm almost ready to drop some more.
Yes.
Missiles. It's like I can put these guys over here, but I don't think that's going to work. So it's like, maybe if I just put them over here,
Moving.
I can then jump them around to attack the aggressors, and this will force him to move those aggressors potentially.
Can I assist?
I was hoping that you were going to be able to charge those guys, but you can't quite do it. It's like, let's just move you over here. And then you can flame these guys. And so if he kills the stealth suits and sends everybody over there, then I can use those other crisis suits to try to body block the position.
I am here.
I have these guys here, but I don't. He'll definitely be able to kill them there. So my thought was, if I hide him behind the corner here with his hover ability, hopefully that'll allow him to move around to
Wherever
get
I
some
am
melee
needed.
attacks against the Hellblasters or other units here. So it's 75 to 55, so pretty much as long as I can hold one place this following turn, I should get the win. So he commits the Hellblasters over there to kill those guys. He brings those guys in, gets a kill there. These Hellblasters come after the
Enemy resists.
broadside, and then he commits the aggressors over here, and then uses the Hellblasters to body block there. So that was a smart idea. Because there's no way I'm going to be able to get those guys back.
Ready
But we
for
should,
orders.
now we were going to win this no matter what, so it's like, well, what can I do to at least try to
Armored support
encourage
ready.
more
I
victory?
am here.
It's like, well, might as well launch some missiles over here if you can get the kill. I was hoping I was going to be able to run in there and take that point back, but that is not the case, so it's like, well, let's just move you up here. That'll allow you to not only get a flame attack against them, but body block the other guys, making it more difficult for them to capture this point with the other guys in case something unexpected happens.
Yes.
You're here. Unfortunately, with the hover, you are not able to get up there.
How can I assist? To the front line.
So I'm like, well, let's get you up here and just start shooting those guys down.
For Viola.
So you can get some kills. Maybe I can actually just bring the broadside down and use his melee attack. And kill the Hellblasters to let me get the final kill here. Or get the another point. So I'm like, let's do that. Let's move you over here.
Under fire.
Attack here, which would do 60 to 80, so you could potentially get the kill. But you missed the attack, unfortunately.
Resists.
And we've got you over here, so it's like, well, let's just shoot into those guys.
Under fire.
Pull you back. And it's like, well, let's just move you back here.
Ready
Keep you
for
safe.
With pride. For Viola.
That probably left him a little bit too open
What
to
troubles
easily get killed. It's like I could charge here,
How can I assist?
but that's not going to be enough. So it's like I can bring you over this
Wherever I
way,
am needed.
and then we'll try to keep you safe by increasing the evasion. But again, this should be, there's only an 80-point target, so I should just win this turn. But I'm always nervous that it's not going to work right, but we did. So we ended up claiming the victory here. So definitely very, very sloppy on my end with how I ended up using those stealth suits, but I wasn't quite sure how to most effectively utilize them here. So the big thing is just make sure you activate the stealth field after you capture the point, because if you're stealth and then capture it, it'll deactivate it. It's a little bit frustrating how that ends up working because it doesn't describe that. So just be cautious about that. And then if you are going to have to use your jump pack, make sure you use the jump pack before you activate the stealth field, because the stealth field will be deactivated, or the jump pack will be unavailable to you if you activate the stealth field. The missile attack is definitely very good because it has a bunch of armor piercing to allow you to help snipe down enemy heroes, and then using that broadside in addition to the cadre to get the 100% accuracy will allow you to snipe guys very easily. Remember, the broadside has the free attacks with the missiles, so always make sure to utilize that appropriately, either to snipe down high value targets. And then the 100% accuracy buff from the cadre does not work on that seeker missile, but if you do put the marked target on it, that'll give it 100% accuracy. So that would be, there's definitely ways I should have done that left side better. It's like I shouldn't have lost it because of I lost it because of the poor play with this stealth troops there. And then I could have salvaged that had I had better play with the broadside. You know, I could have marked the target, had 100% accuracy, used that seeker missile, or just done the 100% accuracy and then launched attacks onto that side, and have done a lot more damage to the land speeders to let us hold that for another turn. So there's definitely several things I could have done. Or to remember to have debuffed him with his evasion and then accuracy, and then attacked with them in addition to the marking light. So a lot of mistakes were made on that left side that were just very sloppy. But again, we're still learning how to use the Tau. I've only done a few games now with the Tau, so there's definitely some alerting curve going on here. But using the crisis suits works very well. You can keep them in cover and launch a bunch of missiles to do a bunch of damage. They do good damage even against the higher tier units like the aggressors, or higher armored I should say, not necessarily tier, aggressors and inceptors. So you can definitely still do good damage, especially by using the commander to buff their accuracy and their damage to get additional buffs going to allow you to just keep moving in and capturing points. And then if they have the flamers or the fusion guns, if you use the cadres to buff them, you can then jump them in, capture points, snipe out heroes, and stop them from using command points. Now he invested a lot of money into his lieutenant to give him the Thunderhammer, so he wanted to use those points to get kills, which is certainly understandable because it allows him to do a ton of damage. But I think if he would have summoned in an assault squad, because he clearly would have had 2 command points with the amount of troops I was killing from him, that would have really messed me up. And had he kept guys on those strategic points to body block them, that would have stopped me from getting the win. I mean, in all due respect, this is really a game for him to have won, especially with my stupid plays. So I think this player is a little bit newer, so you know, just remember when points are awarded on my turn, you want to have guys on those spots to be able to protect them and stop me from being able to capture the points, because all I need to do is move a unit in there and end up capturing the point. You know, he was using his regular Space Marines here. I'm not a big fan of them. They did do some work for him and able to kill my breachers, so I think it was probably, I think they're actually, this might be the one faction where the regular Space Marines may be a good option. And then the other thing is, if you're going to use the aggressors, I think you might want to give them actually the Hellstorm Firestorm gauntlets, because you can either use the melee to get past the armor piercing, and then if there's a bunch of breacher play going on, you'd be able to use those Flamestorm gauntlets to do a pretty good damage against them. The Fragstorm cannon just doesn't do, or launcher just doesn't do enough damage with the lack of armor piercing for it to make a lot of sense. The Inceptors I think were a good idea, but because he had the bolt pistols, they didn't have enough armor piercing to do damage. But had they had the plasma, he would have been able to nuke my stealth suits and do a lot of damage to me, I think. So that's something else to take into consideration, is maybe just using Inceptors with the plasma pistols might be a great idea, because if they have breachers, they'll be able to do enough damage and then hopefully get away to keep them alive. And if he has stealth suits and other heavily armored units, they'll have enough armor piercing to do good damage to him. So definitely going to have to do some play there. I think Terminators obviously would have been a really good choice too, because you could teleport them onto points and body block, and it would have been difficult for me to do enough damage to get the kills there, because I don't think the missiles are going to be able to do enough damage to those heavily armored units to be able to get the kill. And the other option is you know, he could have committed some of those guys to kill my stealth team up north here to be able to stop me from taking that point. So again, there was lots of things he could have done to help him get the easy win here, because with those mistakes I made, if he wasn't a newer player, he would have just obviously won this match very easily. So I think those would be the learning points and advice I'd give this player for future matches if he's going up against the Tau or any faction here on these strategic command points. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.